Hey guys, welcome to the I Hope They Hear This podcast, and I have with me a brand new guest. I know I've been having a lot of repeat guests recently, but please welcome Phil. Hello, Phil. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so the main, I guess, topic is going to be this. If you guys are watching the Atlanta Church League Softball, and yeah, so I wanted to kind of just kick it off with, well, what is this? What is this league?
Yeah, so David, you've played the Church League softball in years past. It's a group of 5 or 6 Korean American churches within the Atlanta area that come together in the fall or in the spring, and we just have fellowship and grow the community through softball. So I need to give a shout out to John Lee, who was kind of like the pioneer of this entire
right.
league.
Yeah.
He started this league. It was at the time called Just Rec Sports. And then my good buddy Steven Chun, shout out to you, Steven. He kind of took over it and he ran the league for a few years. And he just started his own Taekwondo shop. So as a father and now as a small business owner, he didn't necessarily have as much time as he did in the past. So I got kind of voluntold to take over this league, and I now have this great honor to try and keep up the legacy that they've already started.
So is it like a limit of how many church league or churches can be part of this league?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. We actually deliberated on what the right number of churches is. Is 4 too little? Is 8 too many? So 6 is kind of like that sweet spot. We kind of have a good core group of churches that we all kind of know, and that's what we were talking about at dinner just now. But we also want to invite some new churches as well.
Okay.
And then we also want to ensure that we were really fellowshipping and growing our the number of churches that keep coming in and growing. So yeah, we invited what I would consider one new church. Jason Rowe is the captain of that one.
Okay.
And then we've invited or re-invited a church that's played in the past that we don't know as well. And then we've got kind of our mainstays, the 4 points, the here and nows, formerly SKBC, now BCCS. So those are kind of the mainstays, if you will.
Okay, cool. So like around 6 churches, and is the goal just have fun, fellowship, or is there in your mind? And we can get into this. Actually, before I want to save this question to the end, but before we get into kind of the bigger picture, in terms of the nitty gritty, what does it look like on an average Sunday when the games are going on?
Yeah. So there's a lot of logistical planning that occurs way in advance of the first game. So what we would consider opening day, which is September 7th, you have to coordinate the insurance. So if, God forbid, someone gets hurt, we have insurance coverage for the players and for the churches. We have to coordinate the fields, renting the fields, ensuring that the person who sets the entire field up, the lines between the foul poles and whatnot, getting the umpires ready. And this year, what we're really excited about, David, is we're really incorporating a fun aspect to make this holistic experience a little bit better, a little elevated, I think is the right term. So if Shirley and your kids came to the game and they're not necessarily playing, instead of just sitting in the bleachers, basking in the sun, what can we do to ensure a fun experience on that Sunday from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m.? So we thought about bouncy houses for the kids, arts and crafts for the kids, incorporating a little bit of music in between innings or as players are walking up to ensure that your kids are maybe dancing a little bit, having fun, getting posters up to the posters that say like go Appa or go whatever number you want to wear. Just stuff like that, just to make it a little bit more professional, but at the same time make it fun for them, on top of the fun that the players are already having. I think it's a great time for the players. We need to start thinking about the fan experience a little bit as well.
Gotcha. And you mentioned insurance, so I want to bring this up. There was one year, I remember somebody hit like a foul ball, and it went over the fence and into the parking lot and hit like a car.
Oh, yeah.
Hit a windshield.
Yeah.
Are you guys liable for that?
I don't know the answer to that. What we are liable for certain, is the player safety. So if a player gets hurt, that's what we cover essentially. It's almost a park at your own risk type deal.
Right, yeah.
So we always try and encourage people to park away from where the balls may land or
Yeah.
foul balls may land. I think what we're going to do this year is we're going to try and have different cones set up where it just reminds people, hey, you probably don't want to park here. And as you've seen out there, there's some nice cars out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the last thing I want to see is, someone driving a Beamer or a Mercedes or, whatever a nice car is considered these days, get hit and then a cracked windshield driving home or something like that.
So when the kind of duty, I guess, when you were kind of voluntold to do this, what was your motivation going into it?
Yeah, I have a deep love for sports. My brother and I played high school sports growing up. When the church league softball idea kind of sprang up, I was all for it. It's actually where I met my wife, so like I have a deep personal connection to this league to begin with. But when my friends are constantly volunteering and they are doing such a good job leading it, and when they kind of ask you to do something, it's very hard for me to say no. Maybe it's my military background and just wanting to serve and take care of the people out there. Plus, we haven't really done this in a while, and I don't know if it's the same for your church. I have a feeling, I don't have any data to prove this, but at my church at least, golf has really seemed to become more popular. Pickleball has simultaneously like really just skyrocketed in popularity.
Yeah.
And then softball, basketball, some of the sports that require you to be outside, sweat a little bit more, that seems to have just become a little bit less popular. So I thought to myself one night, like, hey, like, your friends are asking you to do this. Should you take it on? You have a few ideas to perhaps elevate the experience. Like, maybe this is a fun project. You already have the backing of a lot of your friends. So I just kind of thought about it, asked my wife if she was cool with it, and she said, go for it. And then a lot of my friends have been so instrumental in just kind of supporting, throwing ideas out there. Huge shout out to all the captains, the general managers of the other churches, because without them, they should really be the ones on this podcast, because I'm just serving them. I work for them, really. There's so many people that make this happen, and it was just time for me to kind of give back a little bit as well.
Oh wow, that's awesome. And I mean, the people that you're talking about, like the captains,
Yeah.
what are their roles in this?
Yeah, so every church has a different structure. 4 Points has appointed a kind of more professional, feel around it. They have a general manager and a captain. Some churches just have a captain. The way we've organized the league, Steven is a special advisor consultant. I'm the commissioner, so that's kind of the way professional sports teams do it. Again, it goes back to my passion for sports. So the roles and responsibilities really kind of lie on organizing the team, keeping them updated, getting them ready, getting the equipment ready, so on and so forth, setting lineups on a daily or weekly basis, ensuring that messages get out. They know exactly what time games are played. They know which dugouts are designated home and away. There's a lot of different things that different churches do, and a huge shout out to all of them because they do so much for each respective church. I don't know if they really know if your audience and the players really know just how much time and energy the captains or the general managers go through.
Yeah, no, I know I guess Brian is the captain of our church. He's been sending out messages, like setting up like batting practices and stuff like that. So yeah, I know Brian, who also happens to be my brother-in-law. Shout out to Brian. He's been doing a ton of work, kind of getting us ready for the season as well. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm sure all the other churches are excited doing.
Oh
that
wow! So you guys are doing batting practice, fielding.
Man, I don't know. Am I giving away too much? Let's see.
Well, I don't know what other churches are doing, but that is incredible that you guys are like taking this seriously. You guys are practicing. You guys are out there kind of just getting ready also.
Yeah.
I can share that some churches haven't done anything. So I just hope everyone's safe and healthy out there.
Yeah.
But that's awesome to hear that you guys are already practicing and getting ready.
I think we even we might be doing a scrimmage with Han Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Next on Sunday, I'll be there.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we've been I think our church has been excited. It's one of those things where on Sundays it's like we all meet, and sometimes like after service, you're like, oh, what are we going to do? Are we going to do lunch? Are we going to go to hang out? Like, it's a little bit kind of awkward sometimes, right? But on softball days, it's like, oh, we're all going to go play softball. Like, so even if you're not playing, why don't you come hang out? And so it is a nice segue into like more fellowship kind of outside of the normal everyday stuff that we typically do.
Yeah.
Like our church, we go to like Taco Mac a lot. So
Okay.
instead of just going to Taco Mac and hanging out, like we can be outside, meeting other people and playing. And so it's always a good time for sure.
I love what you just said. Come out of softball after Sunday when the season starts. You're not just going to Taco Mac or just kind of hanging out. Like, come out to softball and, you guys all know each other within your own church, but, like, communicate and fellowship and, like, get to know some of the other team members and other players. That's kind of the big goal this year is really incorporating and elevating the community aspect of everything. I'm sure you and I have met in the past, but, like, we really got to know each other over the past week and connected over the past week. I would love to know every single player by the end of the season and, like, by name be able to say, okay, this person plays this position for that church, and on a more personal level he or she does this for work or has 2 kids or 3 kids, whatever it may be. I have a lot of friends that have played in these leagues in the past, and we've kind of grown our friendship over the years. And I know them, but there are so many players out there that I'm like, I've seen that guy before, or I've seen that girl before.
Right.
I wish I could say hey, but, like, I don't know that person's name, and that's really, like, that's on me 100%. I should have just kind of introduced myself and said hey at some point. But this year I'm really challenging myself to get to know some of the other church members, grow in the community, and just getting to know just everyone in general. I mean, the Korean community here in Atlanta is very small, as you and I were talking about at dinner. But at the same time, it's so big, and there's so many people that we could potentially get to know, meet, network for jobs or network for podcasts or things like that. So that's just the way my brain's thinking right now.
Yeah, and this is a perfect example of that because you know Blair, and you were talking with her, and she has kind of taken a hiatus. Well, I call it a hiatus. I don't know what she calls it. A hiatus from her podcast. So like she connected us together, and we got to meet and we're doing this episode. Yeah, so.
The fact that we know so many, like, mutual friends already, it just blows my mind how many people we know. I mean, your brother-in-law is Brian, and then you go way back with Tim and Chris, and like I go back with Chris through prom.
Oh wow!
Not like we went together, but like we were in the same group and stuff.
Right.
And like we were just naming left and right how many people that we both know, which is just crazy that we have so many mutual friends.
Yeah, and I think it's great to see when like different churches come together and they can fellowship and do things together. But on that topic, and we actually talked about this a little bit over dinner just now, but when there is, when you're mixing elements of like competitiveness to like the church setting, then sometimes things can get contentious, right? Like if it's just a pure softball league, then everyone has the same understanding. Oh, we're gonna be competitive. So I think it's an easier pill to swallow. But like, is there any concern about within the church like setting, that in the church context, that things might get a little heated?
Fantastic question. I'm actually really glad that you asked this, and I don't know which camera I should be looking at, but my one ask as a commissioner is just remember this is for fun, it's for fellowship. We're out there just kind of using our gifts to have fun. Try and limit the cursing. There's a lot of kids out there, and I am the biggest culprit of this. Just remember that it's a game. And again, I'm the biggest culprit of this. My church is very competitive. But to your point, you and I were talking about this over at dinner. It is easy to forget that, we're doing this for the glory of God. All that to say, I think sometimes our natural competitiveness comes out and we're out there sliding extremely hard, or we're running out there, or we're yelling at the or we're yelling at, opposing players. I get that. Like that comes out naturally, and sometimes that's in our DNA, and some people's personality really comes out because they don't like to lose, and I get that, and I respect that. At the same time, we would really like to eliminate some of the cussing, number one, and number two, if possible, not blaming the umps for a bad call that may have happened or may not have happened depending on the situation. And at the end of the day, just remember it's for fun. Like, it's a game. We're not going to remember this in, 4 hours.
Right.
So I get it, though. People are competitive. People are wanting to win. They want to represent the jersey and the front name that they're donning. So I 100% understand competitiveness.
Yeah. But one thing that I heard you say that actually makes me think it's going to be okay when on the competitive side is the fact that the captains kind of know each other.
Yeah.
If There's something where when kind of your leader is really friendly with the other leaders,
Yeah.
then you kind of get disarmed a little bit,
Yeah.
and you're more willing to accept like, oh, this my captain being friendly with that captain is a cosign of who that person is.
Yeah.
So I can be a little bit more open. But if it's like completely you're everyone's strangers, where it's like, oh, I don't really know anybody from that church, and they
Yeah.
don't really know us, and we're playing, and something happens, and it's so easy to make them the enemy.
Yeah.
And then like kind of rally behind that, and then make it way too competitive.
Yeah.
But the fact that at least the captains know each other and have friendly relationships, I think that's gonna go a long way.
Oh, 100%. And you hit the nail on the head right there. A lot of these captains or general managers, whatever the nomenclature might be, and it's actually slide 3 on that pitch deck. They've all known each other for so long. We've all played each other for quite some time. They've been captains in years past. Sorry, it might be slide 3.
No. Yeah, I'm not, sorry. I'm just looking through stuff. Yeah.
It does help a lot. And to your point, I know when I played sports back in the day, I would always look at the competitor as my enemy. I'm gonna do anything I can to take him out. But when I see the team captains or the coaches or whoever it may be, in this case maybe even the pastors, they're like good buddies and they're over there kind of joking around and they're over there kind of cracking jokes. You'll see a lot of the captains kind of dapping each other up. They'll have handshakes. They'll give each other hugs during warm-ups and stuff like that. That's exactly what we want to see. And to your point, it does kind of make your heart, not as competitive or as angry, perhaps is the right word, when something happens, because we do know that the captains are good friends outside of the field in this case. And we're out there just to have fun, and at the end of the day they're probably just gonna hug it out, and they're probably gonna dap each other up, and we'll go on our separate ways. Sometimes we all grab dinners and stuff together. So someone like Choi, who is also part of your church, like I've known him for a long time. KJ, the captain of Han Vision, I'm sorry, the co-captain of Han Vision, me, KJ, and Chris, our wives are all friends. We all kind of hang out sometimes. We see each other sometimes. Like, I have the utmost respect for those two just because of what they do. And then some of the other names on there that you see, Jason Rowe is a little younger than me, but I think the world of him. He is so young. He is just so full of life. I've never seen this young man angry. He just picked up golf, and he's actually really good at golf already. So I'm a little envious of how athletic he is just naturally. And then, I can go on and say a blurb about each and one of them, just because they're good people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and something, and I think this is great. And if you look at the organizational structure, if you look up here, it's God at the top, and I think that's awesome. Like having the full awareness that, like, ultimately we have God to answer to.
Yeah.
Right? So kind of making that part of the kind of organizational structure, I think, is amazing. But on slide 2, one thing that caught my eye, and I already knew this, but I think this is cool, is you say in the strategic vision, provide best-in-class co-ed softball tournament atmosphere that facilitates fellowship amongst Atlanta churches. And like, yeah, the co-ed part of it, I think, is really awesome too, because in these type of leagues, sometimes there was like a basketball league way back in the day amongst churches, and that was super competitive. So people would like recruit guys from like other places to like play in these leagues. But the fact that it's like co-ed and you guys are intentionally making it kind of open for everybody, I think that's also speaks volumes to what you guys are actually trying to do.
Yeah, and that's what I love about softball as opposed to, let's say, pickleball or golf. Golf is, number one, it takes a long time. It's a bit expensive depending on the course you play. And you're playing in groups of 4, a foursome, or if you're able to organize it right, an 8-some or 12-some at most, depending on most courses. And in pickleball, pickleball is a little easier because the games are fast, it's fast-moving, and anyone can play. But yeah, exactly to your point, in basketball, it's very fast paced. It gets very competitive, and unless the female played at some sort of rec league or in high school, probably, I don't know if probably is not the right word, but was probably not playing with the guys.
Sure.
In church league softball, like, we've made it very, very inclusive. Anyone can play. Like, it's a fun time, and regardless of what your skill level is, whether you played high school baseball or in some cases professional baseball.
Yeah.
In one guy's case, or if you're a brand new beginner, like no one cares. At the end of the day, if you strike out, it's okay. If you hit into a double play, that's fine also. There's so many opportunities. It's a long game. It's at least 7 innings. They're quick. So yeah, girls can play. Anyone of any skill level can play. If you're a brand new beginner and you've never swung a baseball bat, that's fine. If you've never been, I don't know, out there grounding a ground ball, just be careful because it is a little like not as smooth as some other fields.
Sure.
But yeah, whether you're a girl or you're a guy, you can play any position. It's fun. You can bat anywhere in the lineup, and everyone deserves a chance to play.
So I'm going to ask you a hypothetical.
Yeah.
And this isn't going to happen, but let's say this podcast episode goes viral, right? And then everyone in Atlanta is like, oh, I want to be part of this league.
Yeah.
Like, do you have like a contingency for what to do if like 20 churches come out and say, we want to be a part of it?
That's a great question. And hopefully like your podcast does go viral. That's like one of, I don't know, that's my hope for you. And you get sponsored and whatnot. But to answer your question very specifically, we're talking about what we do on our civilian jobs or in our jobs. I work in strategy, or I used to work in strategy, so we have a contingency plan for everything. And if there were interest from other churches that were beyond our means, we would simply tell them, hey, thank you for your interest. We will consider you for next year. And who runs a church league next year? I don't know just yet. All that to say, we welcome any other churches that want to play. I will tell you that we had interest from other churches, but again, we had to cap it off at 6 just because of logistical reasons. And quite frankly, they were taking a little long in responding to whether they were fully in or not.
Sure.
All that to say, we always have backup plans, whether it's raining, like our schedule is created in such a way that everyone has enough games to qualify for the playoffs. We have backup plans for the bouncy houses, the arts and crafts. We have backup plans for the social media. If this person can't do X, Y, and Z, then we know exactly who's going to do it next. We have backups for like myself. If something were to happen to me, knock on wood, then I have no doubt that someone else will be able to step up and they'd be able to run this league immediately. So just people succession planning, I guess logistical planning, all that has been thought of. And again, shout out to Steven and all the captains for just kind of thinking through every single nuance just to make this league work.
Yeah, and I can tell from kind of just even the way that, even the slides that you have here, that it's been thoroughly thought out. Wow.
Yeah. Again, this is all John. This is all Steven. This is all the captains. I work for them. That's my mentality at work, and that's my mentality with this also. It goes back to my military days. Even though I was an officer and I had so many soldiers under me, at the end of the day, my job was to make sure that they were coming home safe to their wives, their husbands, their parents. So I actually have the opposite mentality of I don't have a group of soldiers reporting up to me. I report to a bunch of them. So that's the way I thought about this. And again, all the credit should go out to our special advisor, our captains, our general managers, the church pastors who are allowing this to happen. The players too. The players are making this happen. Without the players, we wouldn't be able to do this. So just very excited. At the end of the day, we're out here to serve. I think the captains would say the same thing. They all have servant hearts. They want to be out there. They want to, make this happen for the community and make it happen for fellowship for your respective churches. So just a lot of kudos to them.
And I really love how you put it, how you don't view it as you have soldiers under you, but you kind of serve them. That's such a Christ-like mentality, right? Because that's literally what Christ said. He said, I came here to serve you, and he washed his disciples' feet and said, this is how you lead. I'm showing you exactly how to lead. So I think top down, right, from commissioner all the way down, having that kind of mentality, I think, is really amazing. And I'm going to ask you a question. This is probably a very difficult question, and this was the question I was going to ask in the beginning. But for you as commissioner, what does a successful season look like?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I'd be lying if I didn't have 4 different answers on any given time. But as you and I were talking about at dinner, what I would love to see every single game, and we have 3 games every Sunday starting September 7th, is when someone gets on base. David, if you were to get on base and you saw a friend from Han Vision, you guys are able to dap it up, laugh a little bit, and then, you're probably running around the bases, scoring or whatever it may be. And at the end of the game, you and whoever you were dapping it up with kind of reconnect and like just have a laugh or have a good time together. And my vision and what I would consider a successful season is if new friendships are formed, new connections are formed, whether it's for work, whether it's for your podcast, whether it's, just helping each other out with whatever. I would love it if something like that were to happen every single week, every single game. And then maybe at the end of the season, a group is formed of some sort. So when we first started softball, when John first started softball way back then, we actually created what we call the Average Bros. It's a conceited term, so I apologize if this isn't the right way to say it. But the self-described way from a lot of the guys was it's an all-star group from the churches. So it was a lot of like, this is going to make me sound bad, so I'm sorry. Not the best, because I was certainly not one of the best players, but it was a collection of very good players from all the churches, and then somehow I got invited, is the best way to put it. And every Monday we grabbed drinks and we grabbed dinner, and then we went to go play softball. Or actually it was the other way around. We played softball and then, grabbed, wings or something like that from whatever restaurant we went to. And that would have never happened had it not been for Sunday Church Softball. And then there was another league that formed very similarly in Roswell. So we played in George Pierce and then East Roswell Park. And it was just a collection of guys from different churches who formed their own team. And now they're good friends. So I still text a lot of these guys quite frequently. Sometimes, it dies naturally. But for the most part, we kind of keep in touch, whether it's football season and, my team loses and I get, a jab from a buddy of mine here and there, like, dude, you guys suck. A lot of congratulations messages when big events happen. So that's ultimately, I guess, what I would consider a successful season. David, if you met a new friend from another church that you didn't know before, vice versa, that person met a new person and they started following each other on Instagram and they form a friendship. You're able to invite more people through podcasting. Who knows? Like maybe someone, like myself and my wife, like we met in church league softball. Like that would be really cool too. Or, maybe someone decides to attend church because they had so much fun at church league softball. Like I would never pretend to be the perfect Christian, and like I'm not even a leader at church, so I don't know how all that aspect stuff works. But I think it'd be cool if someone found God maybe, or found their home church or found their small group through all this also.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And so just kind of picking up on like the fact that you were in the military as well.
Yeah.
Is there any part of this where you kind of hope some people can learn a little bit more discipline and things like that? Because, organized sports, requires discipline to be a part of, right?
Yeah. That's an interesting question. I didn't think about this. I will tell you, if I ever have a son, if I'm lucky enough to have a son, I would have to talk it over with my wife first because she kind of runs the house. But I would not be opposed to the idea of my son playing sports, high school sports specifically. And I know Nicole kind of differs with me on this, but my brother and I played football growing up. I was undersized. We were probably one of the very few Korean Americans who played high school football in Georgia. My brother was actually really good. He started on varsity. I did not. So full disclosure. But the discipline I learned through high school sports of waking up, going to a film session in the morning, going to the weight room, going to practice, being on time, being accountable to your brothers. Those were all things I learned prior to the military. So by the time I went to my college on an ROTC scholarship, a lot of those like disciplines or a lot of those things that I had to learn, or I'm sorry, other cadets had to learn, was already instilled in me through high school sports. So in college, you're exposed to so much stuff. You have to study on your own and figure out how your sleep schedule works, and you're sharing a room with someone, and you have to go to all these classes, and then you have to go to labs, and then again you have to finish papers and finish your homework and study at some point. A lot of that was very simple for me just because high school football required the same thing. Learning a playbook is very similar to studying for an exam, like really understanding if the safety does this, if he rolls over, is it too high, is it single, is it man, is it zone? All that stuff is very similar to, I guess, the way we look at our homework assignments. To answer your question very specifically, I would highly encourage my son, and this is just me, to play high school sports because it led to the discipline that were instilled in me in the military also. To go back to your question, which I hadn't really thought of in the way you asked, like I would love it if they learned a little bit of discipline along the way in terms of understanding rules or adapting to rules or the discipline it requires to stretch before a game, playing the game the right way, stretching after the game, getting your equipment ready, stuff like that. Like, yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, because I think there is something. I'm gonna take a slight jab at the generation, but there is a little bit of this individualism above everything.
Yeah.
Right, and with that, it corrodes a lot of the discipline required for a community.
Oh yeah.
Where like, and for like team sports too, if you're just too individualistic, oh, I'm not feeling good today, so I'm not gonna go. And with no concern for I'm letting my team down.
Yeah.
Like my team might have to forfeit because there aren't enough players. So like there are those kind of things. I think there's a pretty good opportunity here for people to start kind of challenging themselves on and foster the more communal aspects of life rather than looking to just the individualistic sides of life.
This is so interesting. So I love the way your brain works. It sounds almost like philosophical almost, but I'm very concerned about the future generation, honestly. And again, it goes back to my strategy days. I'm constantly reading business articles and how the younger generation, especially the generation that graduated during COVID, they don't know how to interact or they don't know how to present themselves via Teams or Zoom. Their social quotient is not as strong as perhaps the generation that you and I grew up in. Their individualism or their propensity to think about themselves over the team, that's very prevalent already in my workplace. And I find it very hard, number one, to trust them in the work that they do. And number two, they're not, I don't know what the right term is, but their mental strength is very weak compared to our generation, second generation Korean Americans who we saw our parents like really work hard and we want to do really well so we can support them. I don't know if I see that in the younger generation. It's a very me culture and it's a very tech savvy culture where they're just looking down at their palms. They don't know how to like make eye contact like you and I are. They don't know how to hold a conversation. So I know we're getting a little off topic, but I love where you're kind of like thinking and it's just I am concerned about the future generation.
So I disciple like two guys at my church, two younger guys, and from the get, I told them, if we're gonna do this, I need you to like meet me at 7 a.m. at this place. Like I know usually you're used to just sleeping right up until you have to go to school or work or something, but I want you to I want there to be a cost for doing this so that you know that it's worth doing. And like these guys are great. So we've been consistently meeting, like one guy Thursday mornings, one guy Friday mornings for like the last couple of years.
Oh, good for you guys.
Yeah, they've been great. And like I love seeing like that I mean it's like it's such a small part of it, but like a little bit of discipline being instilled in them. And when I see like the church league, and there are guys, who are always kind of wishy-washy, right? Like, oh, I'll come play if I have time. Oh yeah, I'll be there maybe this week, and then they don't show up. Oh yeah, maybe I'll be there next week. So there is this corrosion of just the most basic of, I don't even want to call it discipline, maybe just like social etiquette.
Sure.
That is like happening. So I love that there are things like organized things that are somewhat fighting against it.
Sure.
Because the easiest way to do something like this would be to just say, hey, let's just do like a movie night with all the churches. Come if you can, but don't if you can't, and maybe we'll hang out a little bit. And that's so like low commitment, right? Like 1 week you can go, 1 week you don't have to. But in an organized sports setting, in a team sport, there's only so many players that can drop out before the whole team has to forfeit, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, I think that's one thing that I think I'm hoping for you guys and for all of the churches that we can start instilling that a little bit into the younger generations.
So what can I ask? What do you and those two young gentlemen talk about or do at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or whatever?
Yeah, so we've done a couple of things. So we read through a book together. So I'll have them read like a chapter at a time, and then we'll come and then we'll kind of discuss it. And we'll do like prayer requests, like what are you struggling with?
Okay.
What are the things that you're... And right recently, what we've been doing is we're going through the Gospels together. So we're just reading.
Books of the Bible.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, now we're doing books of the Bible.
Gotcha.
But before it was like there's a book called we read a couple books, A Case for Christ and Case for Creator by a guy named Lee Strobel. He was like an investigative journalist who was an atheist who sought to disprove God, but in his research actually became a Christian.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so he kind of put all his research together and say this is a really solid case that Jesus was Christ, and so like just those kind of books. Like we just kind of read the books together, and a lot of it is just in the discipleship setting. It doesn't have to be that I'm older than them, but the fact that I'm older than them helps a lot in like I just give them a lot of like life advice.
Okay.
Like, hey, like one of them had like for dating, right? Like what is the proper way to do this, do that, and like I had to straight up like I give them really practical advice. Hey, dating isn't marriage. All these like crazy things that like dating couples do to like prove their love to each other, like getting a tattoo of like your girlfriend or boyfriend's name like on your body or something like that. Like this, you don't have a guarantee that they're going to be your wife, so don't do stuff like that. So just a practical life advice.
Okay, very cool. Yeah. So it sounds like you're a mentor for them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I wonder if they're going to be... No, yeah, one of them is playing in the softball league.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll introduce you to him when you...
What's his... Oh, actually, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just realized I forgot that we were doing this, actually.
Right. And another question actually that was on my mind. So it sounds like a lot of kind of the guiding principle for you is to foster fellowship and kind of community in this league. Like, let's say that you're out there one day and you see two churches playing, and they're particularly like there's like tension, and they're like kind of making faces at each other, and you see that fellowship isn't happening. Like, are there things that you would do to kind of right the ship in that sense?
Yeah, so we actually have an entertainment team this year, and again, if you go to slide 3 or 2 or whatever it is, it kind of has some of the ideas that we have in place. We have like a community engagement team, we have a social media team, specifically looking for certain cues. If there's an injury, we know exactly what that cue looks like. There's agony or pain and stuff like that, stuff like that. Our social media team has cues on what to look for when they're out there, to look at a fan or someone, cheering really loud, exactly to look for that. I think for the captains, for myself, and for different team members that we have, and they're all volunteers, so not professionals by any means. All that to say, if we do sense tension or if we do sense some sort of animosity, the music person, whoever's in charge of music, needs to start playing, Barney, You Love Me, or whatever that song is and stuff like that. Just kind of understanding the situation, assessing the situation, and acting upon that situation. So again, a little bit of military in that, of kind of reading the room, having your head on a swivel is a military term, of just kind of looking around you at 360 to kind of gauge the situation. More so for a security purpose, for in this case, just understanding certain cues, understanding what to do after those cues, just to break the tension. So it might be the music, it might be, the whoever's the DJ of that game, kind of saying like, hey guys, we're here for fun, just a reminder, and then again, playing music, or putting the spotlight on a cute fan out there, perhaps like your son or daughter or something like that, or a cute moment of a little kid, cheering for their mom or dad, or brother or sister, whoever it may be. Just breaking the ice, breaking the tension, and understanding the cues to ensure that we turn it back to having fun, stuff like that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that there is something in place for when that can happen, because it's never because the longer it goes, that tension, the harder it is to diffuse.
Yeah.
So the fact that you guys already kind of have a strategy for what to do right as soon as you notice it, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And one thing I think could be helpful is like if you do notice something like that, so it's something that maybe churches like within themselves they can do is maybe you'll like comment and let one of the captains know, hey, I noticed your church was doing this.
Yeah.
Like, and then for them to be able to kind of take that to their own church and kind of discuss that,
Yeah.
I think can be a huge growth opportunity
Sure.
for them.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm glad that's awesome. Yeah, that is just kind of being frank. That is always my biggest concern when churches are doing anything together. Like it's so easy to kind of create tribes and say
Yeah.
we're better than you, or like those kind of things.
Yeah.
So the fact that you guys have thought about all of this, I think, yeah, it's really great. Yeah.
And I'll be honest, like I think perhaps I'm guilty of this, perhaps the most amongst players. I'm very competitive. I'm very prideful. I love my friends, my brothers, and like some of them are like truly brothers. With some of the stuff that we've gone through, like if someone says something bad about a friend of mine,
Right.
there's a story of like me taking out my frustration on a group of guys at the bar because I thought they were messing with my buddies. And like to me it didn't sound like me, but all my buddies were like, yeah, that definitely happened. I have to remember, and again, I'm putting the onus on myself here because I'm guilty of this. I have to remember this is church league softball. It's just a game. And at the end of the day, like this is not gonna impact me or my family or anything. After 2 hours after the game, everyone's gonna go home, take a shower, and they're gonna watch their favorite TV show. Like no one's gonna think about this too much. I'm over here, criticizing myself for not getting on base one time or something like that, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, that stuff doesn't matter. So as long as everyone's having fun, everyone's safe, that's what I care about.
Oh, that's awesome. Any last thoughts? Any last kind of things you want to plug? Because it's starting in September. You said it's September 7th is
Correct.
that first
Yeah.
game. Anyone can come and watch, right?
Anyone can come and watch, correct?
Yeah. So if you're bored, and your church wants to do something fun, yeah, maybe come out and cheer on and pick a favorite church and start cheering on
Yeah.
that church.
Yeah. I guess the last thing I'll say is, again, I appreciate you having me on here. I appreciate the ability and the community that you have already through your IG page and your podcast page to reach out to perhaps people we might not know. I got to give a shout out to all the coaches, all the GMs, the special advisor that we have. So not to go name by name, but like Steven has such a big part in this. Got to give a shout out to John Lee, who kind of pioneered all this. Really appreciate all the wives who are also like kind of helping with all this too. This wouldn't be possible without the support of everyone in our households. And the last thing I'll say, and I guess this is the camera that I'm looking at, we plan on making it very fun. Again, if you're not a player, still come out because we're gonna have bouncy houses for kids. We're gonna do like beat the freeze if you've ever been to a Braves game.
Oh, cool.
Which is like choosing someone on your team to race perhaps the fastest player or who we deem to be the fastest player. We're going to have baby races. You may have seen that at professional sporting leagues where you have 4 or 5 babies and the parents are like maybe 5 yards away, and whoever crawls to the baby wins a prize. And we have raffles for the fans of the game. And at the end of the season, we're going to do all tournament team, kind of voted on by fans and team members and the players of who they think should be recognized for just being awesome out there. Not only from a baseball perspective, softball perspective, but just like their character also. An MVP type thing also. And there's going to be music. Every time someone comes up to bat, we'll play some sort of music just to make it more fun, more vibrant. We're going to have social media. The social media page is already up. So we're going to do a lot of player highlights, veteran highlights of why they like the league. David, we got to get you on there of what you enjoyed about it also.
What's the handle for that? What's the name?
I should know that.
You know what? I just started following it, so I think I should know too.
Yeah, my phone died. I think it's ATL Church Softball 2025. And it's in its infancy. we're really getting a lot of submissions and people reaching out saying that they want to submit something, which is kind of funny, which is kind of cute. I think that's awesome.
It is ATL Church Softball.
Okay.
No 2025.
Okay.
Just-
Yeah, so we have a social media thing going. We're really going to highlight a lot of the players, a lot of the captains, a lot of the teams. Again, going back to the vision of getting to know each other. And then during game days, we're going to have like outfit of the day. Like, what are you wearing for this game? Oh, show us your cleats. Show us your hat. Show us, your gloves. What kind of bat are you going to use for this game? We're going to have a lot of questions of like, who's your favorite player not on your own team that you like to play? So really fostering some of that. And then if anyone follows any professional teams, Instagram pages or social media pages, there's like set questions when you go up before the practice field or baseball field that just kind of gets to know people a little bit more. Some of those questions might be favorite restaurant in Atlanta, most hidden gem in Atlanta, favorite player, favorite football team, favorite movie, favorite Marvel character, like stuff like that. Just to get a little bit of the, I guess, break the ice, icebreaker type stuff. Just get to know people a little bit more. So just a lot of ideas circulating. And at the end of the day, I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Phil, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
And for the people listening who are going to be part of the league, whether as a spectator or as a player, I'm glad that we got to talk about this for them so that we can all kind of be on the same page about what this is for, what this is about. So instead of walking into it like, oh, I don't know, am I trying to just win? Am I trying to like being on the same page? Hey, this is so that we can foster fellowship, so that we can have fun and have competitive fun play. And kind of knowing all that on the outset and then starting, I think is going to help to really foster that fellowship. So I'm glad we got to do this.
No, yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me for the meal. Can't wait to see you out there. And hopefully your family comes out to some games also.
Yeah, we're excited for it.
Awesome.
Well, thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next time.